God's Akatosh did not create him. He never was. The skyborn spire trembles as the Akatosh * dragonborn Aren spire stares into the void where trembles as the Alduin's voice dragonborn fractures, Alduin's voice fractures overlapping shrieks of unraveled gods. Forge him, Akatosh did not he overlapping create him, unmade a name shrieks of too terrible to remember unraveled gods, stitching its unlife into time's wound. The Thuum bends stone to bone, reality to memory. You feel the ancient tongue's banishment, not a cage, but a Alduin's voice calendar echo with 1,000 gods screams. Gods. Why does Alduin's voice echo with 1,000 gods screams? Akatosh did not create him. Akatosh * unmade * him. Each syllable in Alduin's roar is a shattered soul cosmic entities, erased to forge a weapon. The firstborn was never born. He is a tomb for the old divines, their final gasps trapped in his throat. When he devours the Kalpa, he does not consume time, he reclaims it. The ancient tongues banished him not to silence him, but to * slow him *. A dragon who exists as both executioner and execution. What if the dragon breaks are not breaks? What if they are * burps * proof the world is still bleeding out of a wound Akatosh never meant to heal? The Thuum language of the gods could not contain what Akatosh had erased. The Ada's screams seeped into Alduin's voice, a chorus of uncreation. When he speaks, it is not power that reverberates, it is absence. The dragon breaks are not breaks. They are ruptures where the unmade bleed through, where the abyss remembers the wound Akatosh stitched with stars. Did Akatosh act to save the world, or to bury a guilt no god can name? The convention sealed his deed, but the Thuum carries whispers. Alduin is no dragon, he is a tomb. And every time he roars, the Ada's ghosts claw at the edges of existence. The world breathes, the world breaks. And beneath the scales of the World Eater, the firstborn who was never born, the cosmos holds its breath afraid of what might answer when a god's unmaking is remembered. The cosmos does not unmake without cost. Akatosh, god of time's teeth, forged Alduin by devouring the Ada nameless host whose essence once pulsed in the marrow of stars. To bind this stolen divinity, Akatosh wove the Thuum not as speech but as shackle, a language of fire that carved the exiled god into 1,000 screaming fragments. Each syllable of Alduin's roar carries the weight of 1,000 deaths, each wingbeat a dirge for what was erased. The Mara Kadi selective was no accident. For 1008 years, the dragon brake gnawed at the world's spine, splitting sky from earth, god from god. The Aelid called it the Great Unweaving. The Nords called it the dawn, but the truth is colder. Alduin's first breath was the scream of a murdered pantheon. CHIM, the alchemy of divinity, is no mere ritual. It is a theft of entropy, a bending of reality's code to forge gods from ash. Akatosh used it not to create but to erase, collapsing the Ada's infinite will into a single, screaming vessel. The Thuum became both prison and engine, a paradox that turned Alduin into a living wound. When the dragon brake shattered, it was not the world that fractured but the soul of a god, splintered into the mortal realm's bones. The Thuum's first word *yal** did not summon fire, it exiled a universe. The Mara Kadi, those who witnessed the selective, speak of a sky-bleeding light. Not the golden dawn of legends, but a blackened radiance, as if the sun itself had been gutted. The air burned with the tang of ozone and bone, and the ground cracked in patterns that still scar Tamriel's bedrock. The Thuum's resonance did not just split realms, it scarred time, leaving Alduin a creature neither of past nor future, but of unmaking *. His wings are not flesh but the echo of a war never fought, his breath the lingering death of a god who never should have existed. What does it mean to be born of a murder? Akatosh's act was no act of war, but of necessity. The Ada threatened to unravel the fabric of causality, a force too vast for even the divines to contain. To stop them, Akatosh became both executioner and jailer, stitching Alduin's soul with threads of stolen divinity. Yet the paradox festers. The Thuum, meant to imprison, now * feeds * him. Every word spoken in its tongue risks unbinding what was never meant to be held. Alduin's voice is no mere weapon, it is a vault leaking screams. What god, what thing lies buried in the marrow of his being, still alive, still fighting, still waiting *. The answer may yet break the world. Alduin stands at the summit of time's first mountain. The Thuum-bound soul of the firstborn cracks. He will not swallow the Kalpa. He will not kneel to the cycle. His roar splits the Merethic sky not in obedience, but in asterisk defiance asterisk. The ancient tongues, keepers of the word, recoil. A god-king rises where a harbinger was meant to fall. His wings blot out the dawn, his shadow carves a throne from the void, but the cosmos cannot abide a dragon who refuses his script. The Thuum fractures. 1,000 divine voices scream inside him, not as prisoners, but as asterisk wounds asterisk. The Ada's consciousness, exiled for eons, surges free. It claws through the marrow of the world, seeking a body, a voice, a asterisk war asterisk. The ancient tongues strike, not with death, with asterisk unmaking asterisk. They tear Alduin from his age, stitch his essence into the gaps between eras. His fury becomes a storm without anchor. The dragon breaks are not prophecy. They are asterisk scars asterisk, each rupture in the sky a prison cell, a portal, a asterisk punishment asterisk. His roar echoes through the dragonborn's dreams not as warning, but as asterisk memory asterisk. For what is a god-king, unmade and unyielding, if not a wound that will not heal, a scream that outlived the stars? The answer lies in every shattered Thuum. In every dragon who forgets, then remembers, in every soul that dares to asterisk choose asterisk. 341 words. But to understand what happens next, you must understand what they gave up. Akatosh did not carve Alduin from stone or bone. No, unraveled a god Korus of older than time, divinity's thread by writhing in his skull screaming thread. Crack theirs. Shackle divinity's thread by writhing in his skull. Cracks when he the Thuum is no birth speaks, theirs not his. Akatosh did not forge Alduin, he unraveled a god. The Atada's essence, shattered, seeped into Alduin's jawsetch roar, a tomb for forgotten divinity. Vivarden fell burned not from lava but from a scream. The red year's sky wept ash because a cosmic throat was cut. The Dwemer heard it too. Their machines, tuned to Kagranak's tones, sought to bottle the chaos. Lorkhan's heart, a prison for what Akatosh unmade, they vanished when the heart spoke, not a god. A chorus of unmade ones, Aelid scribes carved warnings in their temples. Asterisk time is a wound, not a river. Asterisk they knew the paradoxes. How the Atada's death echoed backward, twisting Chimer blood into Dunmer skin. How Atmorans fled south, their songs haunted by a dragon's voice they could not name. Rurkin's wake drowned a legion, not by storm but by truth. Men watched their comrades dissolve into shadow identities stolen by Alduin's Thuum. A lover grasped a husband's hand only to feel scales, who asterisk was asterisk he. The dead do not weep but they do. Alduin walks, every wingbeat cracks the mundus. The dragon breaks are not metaphors, they are scars where ancient gods bled into this world. Akatosh's crime festers. The Atada's soul screams in every Kalpa, trapped between unmaking and becoming. What did it mean to kill a god, to birth a monster? The question hangs unanswered in the shadow of the World Eater's wings. The Oblivion crisis was a wound in the firmament. Martin Septim's ascension as Akatosh's avatar did not heal it. It widened. The towers, hollow pillars of Mundus, trembled. Their light dimmed. Alduin's Thuum-bound soul, already a shattering prism, fractured further. He had always been a paradox voice without body, power without purpose. Now, the paradox became a maw. The Ada, time's ancient custodians, recoiled as their threads unraveled. Dragon breaks erupted across Tamriel, not metaphor, not myth. The sky itself split, bleeding epochs. A dragon's roar in 1E722 echoed alongside its cry in 4E181. Past and future bled into the same wound. Alduin's voice deepened. It carried the weight of 1,000 collapsing stars. The scream trapped in his throat was not his own. It was the voice of what Akatosh had unmade to birth a god-king. The towers fell one by one. Each collapse sent ripples through reality. Cities drowned in memories. Mountains crumbled into dust that whispered forgotten names. Martin, now a living deity, could not mend what Alduin's Thuum had unmade. The Avatar's hammer struck the World Eater's skull, but the blow only deepened the fracture. The Ada's warping time revealed the truth. Alduin was never born, he was a negation. Akatosh had not created a dragon, he had erased a thing that should not have existed, a being older than the Mundus, coiled in the void beyond the void. Its essence, shredded and reconstituted, became Alduin's prison. The Thuum was both key and curse. Every word he spoke unspooled the fabric of what Akatosh had woven. By the Fourth Era, the dragon breaks had reshaped history. Alduin's return was not a cycle, it was a recursion. His wings cast shadows over 2 ages at once. The Mantled, once a prophet, became a corpse god. His breath did not freeze it unmade. The scent of starlight turned to rot. The tower's light now extinguished, left only the echo of their fall, and in that silence Alduin's roar remained, a hymn of uncreation. A testament to what gods dare not name. What does it mean to kill a god, to birth a monster? The answer lies in the scream that birthed a dragon, and the void that birthed the scream. Alduin's soul fractures across the Thuum. Each dragon break stitches time to its bleeding edge. The skyborn spire is no tomb, it is a throat. The dragonborn's breath holds the weight of 1,000 exiles. Akatosh did not create the World Eater. He unmade a thing too old to die, a thing that gnawed at the void before Lorkhan's chains. Alduin's roar is a wound, not a weapon. The entities trapped within him were never gods. They were prototypes, flawed and screaming, cast into the Thuum's forge. Their agony is his language. The spire's walls pulse with their borrowed power. To contain him is to host a war of uncreation. Every syllable he utters peels back layers of reality. The Dragonborn knows this. They stand not as hero, but as anchor. The Fourth Era's fate hinges on a fragile truth. Some exiles cannot be held. They can only be answered, and in the Alduin's silence between roar does not birth roars, Parthonak's taught lingers. Scream Alduin still lives in the echo. And in it unbinds, what language? Scream Alduin still lives in the echo proves it is a lock. One dragon bore the weight of 1,000 gods' final breaths, the other became their tomb. What is divinity if not a cage? CHIM alchemy turns soul into code, but code requires syntax. Parthonak's chose to be the syntax. Alduin became the error. His scales do not shimmer with power, they fracture with absence. Every syllable he speaks is a name erased, a god's essence Akatosh hollowed to fuel the Orbis. The dragonborn who slays him does not break a tyrant, they shatter a mirror. For in Alduin's prison the dragonborn sees their own reflection. A soul borrowed, a life assembled from the unmade. The dragon breaks are not myths. They are the sound of Akatosh's forge, hammering new divinities from the bones of the old. What truth lingers in the Thuum's echo? That gods are not born. They are compiled, and every equation requires a negative. Parthonak's wisdom was to accept the role of compiler. Alduin's tragedy was to become the negative. The Orbis hums with borrowed light. Its divinities are not creators, they are calculators. And in the silence after Alduin's final roar, the only question left is this: what soul will Akatosh unmake next to keep the machine alive? In the skyborn spire's shadow, Alduin's roar carves a truth older than time. His wings are not flesh but fractured starlight, Akatosh's blade unmaking what came before. The screams in his breath, echoes of gods erased to fuel the cycle. No creation, no accident, a wound given voice. The Thuum shakes the Orbis, asterisk the world will end and I will be the end. Asterisk silence follows, not absence, a held breath, the spire's stone weeps ancient names. Alduin does not speak, he asterisk unmakes asterisk, and beneath his shadow the machine grinds on waiting for the next soul to become the end. What ancient gods did Akatosh shatter to birth Alduin's hollow crown? His Thuum does not sing it, asterisk devours, asterisk the echoes of exiled divinity. A soul not forged but stolen, fragments of forgotten gods, bound in dragon bone. And when the next Kalpa cracks the sky, will the machine feast again?